We have a voicemail number, and that number is 219-2-DAVID-P. You can leave a voicemail about anything. Here is a voicemail that was left pointing out the continued so-called free speech confusion that many on the right are experiencing. Take a listen to this.
David, why do conservatives constantly cry about free speech, but they never seem to realize that that only applies to what the federal government does? Why don't they just argue for amending the Constitution to apply those same rules to private companies?
Well, because they don't necessarily know that. Yeah, so this is a very important thing. Free speech is sometimes used colloquially just to say me saying whatever I want, wherever I want, with no consequences and nobody having an ability to limit what I'm allowed to say. Now, of course, when you're on a platform that has terms of service and you're not being discriminated against because of your race or religion or whatever, the platform can enforce terms of service. And this is a good point, that when we talk about the First Amendment, we are talking about government limiting speech. Does the bulk of the right wing realize that when we talk about my First Amendment right to free speech, it doesn't apply to Twitter? Some of them might, but many of them don't. But the next question is a good one. Why don't they just say First Amendment rights should apply to private companies of all kinds? And the reason some of them don't do it is because they don't even understand what we're talking about. Okay, put those aside. The reason more prominent Republicans don't suggest that is they realize that it actually is a dangerous, slippery slope. You know, I make a point to signal when the fear of a slippery slope is unwarranted. There's lots of, for example, they would say, oh, the vaccine mandates are going to open the door to what? All sorts of authoritarianism. It hasn't happened. We've had vaccine requirements in this country for 100 years. And even when it comes to the COVID vaccine mandates, they've mostly been relaxed. The Supreme Court said no to Biden's. There was no slippery slope there. There just, historically, we knew there wouldn't be. Common sense, we knew there wouldn't be. When it comes to this entire absolute free speech applied to all companies, period, it actually would be a crazy slippery slope when it comes to an employer's ability to limit workers from speaking, customers. It would actually be an insanely heavy-handed form of the regulation of businesses. And many Republicans realize that. And that's why they will vaguely say, oh, you know, conservatives got to make sure that we have a voice on platforms and whatever. But they typically stop short of that extremely authoritarian, at the end of the day, claim or request that free speech should apply to any private company the way it does to the government, because they understand the very serious repercussions, and they understand it would be completely counter to their view of let businesses do what they want to do as long as it's not against the law, and sometimes even if it is. Many Republicans know that. Smarter Republicans recognize that, and that's why they don't say let's regulate companies in the exact same way when it comes to speech as the government is regulated by the First Amendment. We have a great bonus show for you today. We will talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. I have a number of different thoughts about it. Congressional staffers are organizing a union. We will tell you why and whether it's likely to succeed. And we will talk about the latest in the Sarah Palin New York Times defamation case. It's getting very interesting. Make sure you sign up now, really, at joinpacman.com and get instant access to the bonus show.